Gary and Chandra, I love that you guys are here with us because you have similar things going on, but from two different perspectives. And Gary, you and I talked about this, volunteering within the real estate community. How important is that for each of you?
Well, the importance of it came to me after volunteering. I did not necessarily know fully what I was getting into. I just knew that it was a space that I wanted to be in, and I'm somebody who likes to come from contribution, so I figured, okay, well, let's occupy a space if I can, right?
Yes.
And give back. But after volunteering, that's when I realized, like, oh, this is so much more than just volunteering. It's more than just giving, it's what we get out of it as well. So it's just kind of flourished, and it's kind of like one of those things that once you start, you can't stop. It becomes part of the business model. It becomes part of your identity. It becomes part of what you do and who you become, like in the realtor community. So that's kind of how it's been for me. It didn't start off that way. I didn't know that this is what it was going to be like.
Well, Gary, you described it as addictive.
It really is, early on, as most of us that are in any of the organizations, whether it's at local, state, or national, somebody taps us on the shoulder and says, hey, you should join this, or maybe they identify a skill depending on what committee or what role it is. But after you realize that you're actually giving back into your industry and supporting the industry that feeds you, there is a sense of moral responsibility to give back and to help other members as well if you have that skill set or time. And I used to say that I would sell houses to support my volunteer habit. Because when times are slow, it's really hard to say, well, I'm going to invest this much time volunteering. When the reality is it really isn't that many hours per month, but it sharpens your time management skills and your interpersonal skills.
And you're going to be talking about this in the presentation, correct?
Absolutely.
That's right.
And is that the core message, that this is something that works both ways?
It really is, and it really comes down to as much as you want to put into it, you'll get out of it.
Absolutely.
There's a direct return. And there are times in people's careers and in their lives when they need a little bit balance, and maybe they just want to back off and focus on a few things. I've done that a few times in my career and refocused on jobs that are a little bit more responsibility and needed time, required time to do the job well. But that's the beauty of it. It's flexible, and you can find the things that you like and enjoy, and you meet other like-minded people. And I think Chandra will agree, that's how we met,
Yeah.
is being involved and having a voice in the industry and talking about issues.
Well, and you're pretty new compared to Gary.
Yeah, very new.
Tell me why, like from your perspective, when you have a new agent in the industry, they may say, you know what, I'm too new, or I can't do this, I can't find time, I'm building my business. There's so many excuses. What's your answer to that?
There is a place for everybody and a space for everybody. Everybody, regardless of where you are in the industry, especially if you're brand new, there is still something that you can do and a perspective that you can bring to the table to help raise the ceiling, the standard of real estate overall. So if it's a situation where they're like, well, my schedule, I don't know, I'm still trying to build my business, it's like, okay, well, why would you not want to do this and meet other amazing realtors from across the country who are doing exactly what you do and build your referral business that way? There's so many opportunities that come from being in leadership that it doesn't matter where you are, if you're brand new or seasoned. There's always something you can bring to the table and something that you can get out of it. And it's funny because I feel like newer agents always feel like, well, maybe I'm not qualified enough, right? I'm not experienced enough. And it's just like, well, I need to hear that. We all need to hear that because we need to know, well, what kind of training are you into? What issues are you seeing in the industry as a new agent? Because a seasoned agent is going to see things completely different than a brand new agent does. So we still need everybody's voice at the table in order to make changes to help the entire industry, right? So there's a space for everybody. That's how I think. Yeah.
And you do get that, I don't know if it's recognition or what you would call it from your peers, right, by doing this.
I think it's really a credibility thing. When the minute if you happen to put in that you're a director or a member of a community in your e-block, your signature block, or it just comes up that you're involved, whether there's some PR involved. To this day, there are agents that will say, oh, by the way, I see that you do this, you do that. They question it, but they also figure you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And it is that heightened awareness that you're dealing with another professional who's giving back in the industry. It really frustrates me that some members don't recognize that that's a pretty powerful and respected piece.
Absolutely. What are some of the most interesting volunteer opportunities that are available?
Well, right now, I'll speak for the Realtor Relief Foundation. Has a big capital fundraising drive that we're very excited about.
Nice.
The participation in it has blown us away. I literally just came from a trustee meeting, and we are giving people as realtors. We provide home ownership. We give back to the community. The foundation helps people in times of disaster to maintain their housing. So for me, right now, it's an amazing time that we're showing that we are part of the community and we do support the community.
What I love about volunteer leadership is that whatever you're interested in or whatever you're passionate about, there's probably an opportunity that exists for you to participate in it. And if it doesn't exist, you can create it, you know? And that's the beauty of it. If you're somebody who's passionate about fair housing, there's probably a committee at your local, state, or national level that you can volunteer at. If you're passionate about sustainability, there's a place for you to volunteer there as well, you know? And like I said, you can create the space too if it does not exist, if it doesn't exist. So it's not even about like, well, what's the best possibility, like what's already there. Whatever you are passionate about, it's probably already there. If it's not, you can make that space. There's more than enough room for everybody.
So I'm a realtor, I come up to you and I say, okay, how do I get started? What do I do? What's the first step?
Attend meetings, tap us on the shoulder, ask us questions. You know, that's how it was for me. I didn't know, I knew what I liked. I knew what I wanted to have a voice at. I know what tables I wanted to be at, but sometimes you're not fully aware of certain topics. Attend the committee meetings, sit in the meetings if they're open, listen, have conversations with people who are a part of those committees, and then let them know, voice your opinion. You know what, this is something that I want to be a part of, maybe in the future. And you never know, if the opportunity exists, you'll be the one tapped on the shoulder. That's how it was for me. Somebody tapped me on the shoulder. So attend the meetings and ask questions.
And there's always somebody to talk to, whether it's your local state leadership, and most leadership, most volunteers that have been around more than just a couple years will understand the question and say, let's sit down, here's the committees and here's the goals of the committee. The time constraints are easy, but here's the mission or the goal of the committee. Does that interest you? I know somebody is very interested in insurance. That's one of the issues at NAR and locals of 200 different issues that we track. So it is very diverse in your interest and what you want to do. We have a wonderful YPN network, Young Professional Network, that we have a lot of newer members, and they're very supportive of that. So it's not even like it's work. It's a sense of belonging, and you're with like-minded people who are going through the same struggles and challenges in their career and the same successes, and they want to share that. So it is, we don't have enough time to talk about all the different paths, but I will say that talk to somebody that volunteers, because they've already kind of laid the groundwork of understanding which way they wanted to go. And a lot of times, if you know somebody else, they'll have a suggestion knowing what you like.
Perfect. Thank you both very much. This sounds
Very well.
amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Uh-huh.